because it is a game changer. It is a mind shifter. And if you'll take what he teaches you and not just put it in here, but put it out, apply it. Don't just let it go in one ear and out the other. Take it and apply it, and use the tools that you're given to build your business. It's what we do it for. We want you guys to take what you're learning and apply it to your everyday business, because it can change the trajectory of your business if you take these things. And, neither one of us proclaim to know everything, but I can tell you something. We have gone through trial by fire. We know the things that don't work, believe me. And we don't want you guys to have to make the same mistakes and go through the same crap that we've been through. We want you to learn. That's why we love to teach what we've, the things that don't work too. And, the things that do work, we want you to know those things so you don't have to go through the same crap we've been through to get to where we're at. So I'm going to turn it over to my good, dear friend, my accountability partner, the one that I could not do this business without. Make him welcome, Silver Executive. And I'm so excited to announce him as that. Silver Executive, Stacy Loftis.
Woohoo! Thank you, Melissa. Woo! Okay, guys, I've done this training several times for Cynthia Evans and her team. I don't know, some other executive teams, and I love this topic. It is a topic that's going to open up your mind. It's going to be a topic that gets you to see a long, big vision of yourself with Singular. Okay, this is not a training that is just a quick training that you just do for a short amount of time. This is something that's going to stay with you through every single day, week, month, year that you're with Singular. Okay. And that is to get you to see that this is a profession. And and if you guys aren't taking notes, please take notes. And Melissa, if you've got that mute all on, if you don't mind, remove that. And everybody put themselves on mute manually, because I'm going to be asking some questions and I want you guys to unmute yourself and answer. This is a little bit of an interactive training, and for it to work, you guys have got to give me some answers. Okay, it won't work if you guys don't respond back to me. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is this. When you think of a profession and you think of a professional income, and this is a starting professional income, somebody unmute themselves, and I'm going to be writing this down. Someone unmute themselves and tell me what you think of when you think of a professional income. And what I mean by that is a nurse, a banker, a police officer like myself, a teacher, doctor, lawyer, doesn't matter, of a professional income. What is that annual income starting out for a professional? So someone unmute themselves, and I hope to get 3 or 4 people answer. So shout them out.
New doctor, 50,000.
New doctor, 50,000. Okay. 50K. Okay. Somebody else shout out what you think of a professional income.
$80,000 a year.
80,000. Okay. Someone else, give me at least another 1 or 2 more.
125.
125. Okay. Someone else give me another one.
Nurses will start out maybe 40, 50,000 out of college.
Okay. 40 to 50,000. Okay. So that gives us a good base to work with. So I hope you guys did like I did and you wrote those down, because that's really important. So you will be amazed when I tell you this. I've done this training at least 5 times with 5 different groups of people. Everybody gives me the same range. It's usually somewhere around 50 to 100,000. Just like with Tessa, every now and then somebody shoots one over 100,000, but it's always between 50 and 100,000. So keep that in mind. And that is a starting base income. Of course, it grows as professions get more training and get more experience. But that's pretty much right on. Now, let's back up a little bit. what does it take for someone to make this professional income? The first thing I think of is 4 years of college. It's hard to get. I'm not saying you cannot, because obviously there's people out there who do through a trade or skill. But most people, to get a professional income, they spend an average of 4 years at college. Now, I currently do not have anyone in college in my family. So this is where you guys will really want to help me out at, if you all have kids that's going to college right now, or maybe just got out of college or getting ready to go. Someone tell me whether it be a semester, a year, or 4-year degree, and tell me which one you're giving me, what it costs. Well, just do this. What it costs for your child to get a 4-year degree at a university right now. What's that cost?
40,000. That
Okay.
was a 4-year.
Okay.
Taylor went to a private school and it was 31,000 with a half ride scholarship
31,000
a year.
For the 31,000 a year. So you're looking at 120 plus thousand.
Yep.
For 4 years in.
As a teacher,
Okay.
she became a teacher.
I
Oh,
just
wow.
I just paid off my loan and it was 80,000.
Okay. Okay. Someone give me one more if you know. If not, this is good enough to work with. And this is, once again, done this for several different teams, and it hasn't changed much over the last 2 years that I've trained this. And it's about an average of 80,000. I know for the West Virginia of University, that's our big college or big university in West Virginia, and it cost $80,000 for a 4-year degree. $80,000. So before a professional, am I on here, guys? Okay. Before a professional can even start making that $50,000 to $100,000 a year, maybe even a little more, they're already in the hole. At least the average of 80,000. Okay, that's for 4 years. If you're talking about someone that has to go longer for a doctorate degree, or for a master's degree, or for law school, you're at least doubling that. So, but we'll stick with a 4-year degree, a 4-year plan for people to start making that professional income. Now, next thing is, let me make sure I'm not jumping around here. Okay, we've covered that. Now, I'm going to share a little story with you. This is a college story. It's a good one. Being enrolled in college, I learned, does not mean being invested in college. And what I mean by that is my first semester, apparently I thought billiards was part of my degree. But it wasn't, because I got a letter after my first semester putting me on academic probation. And thank goodness I got that letter before my parents did. So what I learned was, because I'm enrolled in college does not mean I'm invested. So I had to realize I've got to go to class. I've got to do the work. I've got to make good grades. I've got to be able to get out of there in 4 years. It took me a little bit longer. I think it's 4.5, but I've got to be able to get out of there with decent grades and a degree. Okay. So keep that in mind. I'm going to circle back around to that in a little bit. So just because you're enrolled in college doesn't mean you're invested. You've got to show up to class. You got to do the homework. Next thing is the continued education for a professional. Okay. I know as a police officer, every year we have to have what we call in-service training, and we have to have so many hours of that a year. And I know teachers have to do the same thing to keep up their certification. My wife's a nurse. I know she has to do so much training a year as well. So even after you're in that profession, you still have to invest into the training. Now, it may not be money necessarily. Sometimes your company or your employer will pay for the training, but you still have to put the time into it, and you still have to pass those classes that you take. I know, just because I go to a class at the police department, I still have to be able to pass that class and for those hours that I'm taking. So once again, you got to be invested in that long-term training, because things change. We all know every profession changes as you go through it. So you've got to continue doing that ongoing professional training. Now, since I have all of your minds now in that, to earn $50,000 to $100,000, you have to invest $80,000 before you can get started. You're already in the hole. You're going to be doing that for 4 years. That's 4 years of your time. Okay, 4 years of your time before that. So you've got 4 years of time and $80,000 behind the curveball already before you start making that. So with that in mind, let's talk about us a little bit. Let's talk about Singular, because we have a better way. We have a way that you don't have to go $80,000 in the hole. We've got a way to where you don't have to wait 4 years before you make a professional income. Okay. And most of our training is free. Okay. So let's talk about all this. Income with Singular, that's really up to you. It's up to what do you want to do. If you just want to get your products paid for, make an extra $500 to $1,000, great. That's the income that you have set for yourself. Myself, and I know Melissa, and I know several other people on here as well, Tessa and Carolyn, and I think I saw Stacy Barnes on here earlier. I know them well enough to know that they want more of a professional income with Singular. So let me share my story with you real quick of when I started realizing I was making a professional income. And it was after probably my first year, I made right around 20,000. It was my second year, I jumped up to about 30,000. And then that's when I realized, okay, this is going to keep growing. I knew that before, but when you start seeing it, that's when you become more of a believer. When you start seeing month after month, year after year, your professional income with Singular growing. So, as you know how it goes, the higher the ranks, the bigger the income. But to get to that professional income with Singular, I'm going to go back to what I said I was going to go back to, is being invested. Just because you're a distributor, that doesn't mean that you're going to make executive level income or platinum director income, silver executive income, whatever. Okay. You've got to be invested. Just like I had to show up to class and do the work so I didn't get kicked out of college, you've got to show up and do the work here. You've got to put in the time. And I can tell you this, I probably put more time into studying and doing homework in college than probably what I have over the time of building Singular. Okay. So the time is going to pretty much balance out, whether you're showing up, going to class to get a degree, or whether you're putting time into Singular. Next thing, we talked about cost. What is your startup cost with Singular? And a lot of that depends upon you. As long as you're coming in with 120 points, that's your startup cost. A lot of people come in with Ignite or Ultimate. That's up to you. But a minimum of a $500 plus distributor fee, or $550, so let's say $600, depending on your taxes, startup fee. That sure in the heck beats $80,000. Okay, sure in the heck beats $80,000. And guess what? You don't have to wait 4 years to start making money. You can start making money that day. Okay, that day. And if you are connected and if you are investing yourself and your time into Singular, you also don't have to wait 4 years before you're making a professional income. There's people starting out now making a professional income within their first 6 months. Okay, first year. So keep that in mind. You don't have to wait 4 years to make a professional income with Zingular. It's designed to do it immediately. Okay. And when I say immediately, I don't mean tomorrow, but I mean as you're working, you're making money. Okay. As you're working your business, you're making money. And that's the thing you've got to keep in mind. And you've got to be patient with it sometimes. I've already mentioned this training. The majority of the training is free. Okay. I never charge anyone for training. Hey, Melissa, did I, when we talked about this, did I say, hey, I'm going to need like $200 for you to train your team? No, we don't do that. We train each other's teams and we train our own teams for free. That's what we do. Okay. Because as everybody grows, the company grows. And that's what we want. Okay. So rarely is there a charge to training. The only ones that you have to pay for is the corporate events, Zing Fest, Zing Fling, and if you're director above, leadership. But those still, to get the type of trainings that you're getting at these corporate events, you're still only paying an average of about $100 to $150 to register. And then your transportation to get you there, your hotel, your food. I figured this up one time, and I want to say probably around 1,000 to 1,500. I'm going to say it's an average that you're going to be spending. Once again, it's a lot better than $80,000 that you're paying. Okay, so make that investment in yourself. Okay, that $1,000, $1,500 investment, you will get that back. Okay, you will get that back by a lot. And I was one of those people. I'll be 100% transparent with you guys. I missed my first 2 events because I didn't realize that the investment was worth it. Okay, it wasn't that I felt like I didn't need it, but I just felt like I'm not going to invest my time into that training when I can go to Cynthia's house and get good training and get online to Freddie's Monday night, him and Cal, I can't think what's room at the top, so I felt that, there was enough training out there that I didn't need to go to an event. Well, the first event I went to, I realized how wrong I really was, because it's not just about the training at the events. It's about the experience. It's about the connection. It's being able to rub shoulders and talk to people that are just growing in the company. So there's a lot more to events than just going and setting at the event. Okay. And you won't understand that unless you've been to one. Okay. It's a lot more than just setting and watching an event. So, with all that being said, there's one thing you've got to keep in mind, guys, and that is what you do today will probably not show up till 90 days down the road. Okay. This is when I tell new people, you've got to work hard and be patient. Okay. You've got to work hard and be patient. And if you're doing that, then you're going to start seeing things come together. Now, it doesn't always take 90 days. So don't get me wrong. If you're new on here and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I haven't signed anybody up, you're telling me I won't sign anybody up for 90 days. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you will start seeing the growth and everything coming together in 90 days. Okay. You will start seeing it start to come together then. But if you're not putting things together now, and you're not invested now, and you're not connected, and you're not doing the trainings, then 90 days down the road, you're going to reap whatever you've sowed. Okay. You're going to reap whatever you've sowed. If you've not been doing much sowing now, then don't expect to have a growth in 90 days. It doesn't work that way. Okay. It doesn't work that way. Let's see. I think that is about it. But guys, I want you to know that give this time. Okay. And I don't mean give it 90 days and say, well, things that turn out like I wanted to. That's not the way network marketing works. Okay. It doesn't work that way. You still got to invest that 4 years. If you're willing to pay $80,000 for 4 years to come out, and with this economy, hopefully get a job in your profession, okay, and one that pays that $50,000 to $80,000, okay. If you're willing to do that, then why are you not willing to spend less money, less time, and do something that's going to give you a good income early and continue growing as you continue throughout the years? Okay. So don't give it 90 days. I always tell people, if you're serious, you need to be on a 4-year plan. Okay. Be on a 4-year plan. And I know that's for some people looking a long way down the road, but you need to be thinking 4-year plan. And it's hard to have that mind shift. And I get it. And I'll tell you why, because we're all directed, as soon as we come out of high school, we hear it from our parents, we hear it from our teachers, is go get a degree and go work for somebody. I mean, that is the way society teaches us. Okay. Now, am I saying that's wrong? No, I'm not saying that's wrong. I went to college, got a 4-year degree. A year or two later, got on with Charleston Police Department, and I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed being a police officer for the last almost 22 years. But I also figured out there's a better way. And this is a better way. I don't want to continue being a police officer till I'm 55, 60 years old. Okay. I didn't want to continue working overtime to make extra money. I took my overtime hours and invested it into Zingular. And I'll tell you what, this is what I found is the city of Charleston cannot pay me enough overtime, pay me enough money in overtime to what I'm making now. No way. They can't pay me enough with my regular hours. Plus, if I worked, we're only allowed to work 16 hours of overtime, or only 16 hours shifts a day. So if I maxed out every single day at that, the city still could not pay me what I'm making with Zingular. Okay. And I knew that would happen. So in the beginning, you're going to feel like you're trading time for money. I hope that makes sense. You may feel like that you're working more hours than what you're getting paid. Okay. And that happens. That happens to everybody. But what is going to happen is that's going to catch up. And then you're going to feel like, okay, now I feel like I'm getting paid what I'm investing. Then this is the great part. Then what's going to happen is you're like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm making this much money and being able to do so many great things. And I'm not working nearly as hard as I am at my other job. Okay. And you will see that if you stick around with this, you will see those transitions. But the first one is tough. The first one is you're going to feel like I'm trading time for money. And you're going to second guess yourself and say, I'm putting in a lot of time to this and I don't see the money. And I've had this conversation with several team members, and that's when I've got to say, you're right. You're right. You're not going to right yet, but you will. You always will. If you stick around, stay connected to the leaders on your team and in the company, and you invest yourself. Okay. You always will. Looking at my notes here, Melissa, I think that's it. I'm trying to think off the top of my head if there's anything I'm forgetting. But make sure that you just stick to a 4-year plan, have a long-term goal, and it will come about. The main thing is, and I've said it over and over again, stay invested, stay connected to your team, and continue to work hard, because it always pays off. Always.
I could not even believe, I got to tell you. So we are so like in sync with each other. He does not even know that I sent this to my I have got a frontline team, and there's several of my frontline people on here tonight. But today, and I will show you when it was 10 hours ago today, it says this company, and this is every frontline distributor that I have signed up. I put them in a separate page. So those of you who are not on my front line, you've got your own frontline coaches, but this is from my front line. It says, this company is about to explode, and I want every single one of you to ride this wave with me. I don't want you to look back and have regrets. Start now, start today. Work it every single day for 1 year and see what happens. The time is going to pass anyways. 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes during your breaks every day, 15 minutes at night will change the trajectory of your financial future. What is the worst that can happen? Someone says no? Okay, but what if? Do this with me. If you're already sharing, go all in and go big. If you've stepped back or given up, try one more time. I will lock arms with you and help you. Take a chance to become extraordinary. And then it says, it always seems impossible until it's done. And, you know, it almost makes me emotional because I do not want anybody on this team, it's my front line or anybody on my team, anybody on Stacy's team to have regrets. And, you know, it's more than an hour a day if you want what he and I have, but it starts with just in the nooks and crannies of your day. That's how I started it. I was working 60 hours a day. 60 hours a week. And I fit this in. And when he tells you this can change everything and it can become a professional income, he and I are going to make probably $150,000 this year. And I can't even believe that, you know, that's like something that when I first started this, never in a million years did I dream that helping other people would give me what it's given us. And I know he feels the same way. And it can be that way and there's nothing special about me. I am just a regular person. I didn't go to college, y'all. I didn't go to college. I made $80,000 a year working my tail off at a crappy job with wondering if I was going to have that job month after month, because if I didn't reach my sales goals, I wasn't going to be there the next month. 25 years I put in to make $80,000 a year. And in 5 years with this company, I'm making double that. That doesn't happen to people like me. You know, it doesn't happen to people like me, but it did. And it can happen to every single one of you if you just put your nose down and grind and want it. That's all you got to do. You got to want it as much as you want to breathe. You've got to want to change the financial future for you and your family. And you've got to just put your head down and go to work. That's all it takes. I do the same thing that every single one of you do. I build my front line every single day. I try to hit manager every single month outside of anything I did the month before, because an executive is a manager that never quit. A platinum executive, an ambassador, the same thing. There's nothing special about anybody that's above where you are. It's just we work. We want it and we work hard every single day. And that's all it takes.
Yeah. And guys, don't be afraid to set big goals. Don't be afraid to look in the future and say, you know, I'd like to make $50,000 with Zynga, or $100,000 or $200,000, whatever that might be for you. And, you know, when I talk about money, I'm not just talking about the paper money. Okay. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about what that money does. Okay. I'm talking about how does that extra $1,000, $2,000, $5,000, how does that change your life, your family's life, the people around you? You know, there's just things that you've got to have money for. There's no other way to put it. You've got to have money to do things. It's just the way the world is. You know, if you want to go on vacations, if you want to buy a certain car, you want to buy a certain house, you want to live in a certain neighborhood, it is what it is. Another big thing is we are so blessed with this singular income that two things. One, we donate more money. We give back as much as we can. We got charities that we donate to, our church. We help people on a personal, private level that no one knows. And we couldn't do that without Singular. We couldn't do that. It's just no way. We're remodeling our kitchen and dining room and putting in all new flooring throughout the house and redoing our stairs and put 2 huge bay windows in the house, replaced them. All thanks to Singular. We didn't have to take out a home equity loan. And I don't say this one single bit to be braggy. I say this so I hope it opens up your eyes to realize that if I can do it, okay, I'm telling you what, I'll share a little background story. I probably graduated high school with luckily probably a 2.5, okay? Nowhere near valedictorian in high school. And I went to a small high school, okay? I went to a very small high school. So it wasn't like I was competing with like 500 kids or something. I'm talking like 82 to 85 kids out of my graduating class, all right? And the thing that I am blessed with is I don't give up. I don't give up. I've got a work ethic. Thank God my parents instilled that in me at an early age. I was not book smart. I mean, making a 2.5 in high school tells you you're not book smart. But I'm determined. I'm determined to do better and to live better. And so blessed for Singular to give me and my family the opportunity to be able to do this. And here's the great thing. We are blessed to help people do the same thing. We are blessed to help you to be able to get you where you want to be. And I wish that Melanie Simpson was on here. I'd have her to share her story real quick, but I'm going to share it with you. And she has shared it hundreds of times, so I know she doesn't mind. Her and Pam, my wife, best friends. They grew up together. And I went to Melanie about the business when I first got started. It took her 2 years to get started with me. 2 years. She finally did. The reason I went to her was because I knew she needed this. I knew she needed this opportunity, and this is why. She's separated, raising 3 boys pretty much on her own. And when I say boys, I mean 3 boys that were in middle school at the time. One of them may have been in high school. All of them playing sports, not only sports for the school, but travel ball. So you guys know how expensive that is. Okay. And I don't mean just one sport. They play just about every sport under the sun. And she could not go to travel ball with them. She couldn't afford it. She would send her kids with other parents and give them the little bit of money that she could to be able to buy the food with, okay, while they were gone overnight. She was not able to take them on vacation. She went years without being able to take them on vacation. And she'll tell you this, drove a piece of crap car, okay? Drove a car that still had the crank down windows and probably AM, FM radio, and that was probably it. And I knew that this would be a great fit for her. And I stayed with her for 2 years, never gave up on her. And when she came on board, she started seeing the vision early on. She realized if she was going to continue the program or even start the program, she knew she was going to have to get people started so she could even keep purchasing the products. Okay. She could not purchase the products without doing the business. Okay. There's no way. Okay. Fast forward. She's been with me, oh my goodness, 5 years now, almost 6. This is how her life has changed during that time. Okay. The simplest things, and she'll tell you this, went out and bought new towels without having to, budget it in, went out and bought her kids new bedroom suits, took her boys on 3 vacations in 1 year because she said she could, and she's making up for lost time. Okay. It's about the memories. Okay. It's about the memories. Did not miss travel ball. Okay. She got to where she was taking the boys herself, was able to enjoy them with travel ball able to make memories during travel ball time, was working 3 jobs at the time, was able to quit 2 of them thanks to Zingular. And last year or year before last, bought a brand new, I think 4-door Jeep. I know it's a Jeep, red Jeep, black top. She said when she was in high school, that was the vehicle she wanted. Thanks to Zingular, she was able to do it. Those are the life-changing things that I love to see. I love to see people grow. I love to see people change their life. I love to see people creating the memories for their family and being able to do the things that they could not do before. Okay. And that's the thing. If you don't change anything from what you're doing now, the next year is going to look the same. 3 years is going to look the same. 5 years, it's going to look the same. Nothing's going to change if you don't change it. Okay. Because nobody's going to come in and change it for you. I'll tell you that right now. Unless you go play the lottery and win the lottery, no one's going to come in and change your life. That's up to you. And my question to you guys is, and I'm going to shut up and turn it over to Melissa, is what are you going to do? What are you going to do to improve things to where you want them to be? It's up to you. It's not up to me. It's not up to Melissa. We can hand you the tools. We can train you, give you the resources, give you everything you need to be successful. The successful part's up to you. It's up to you. All right, Melissa, I'm shutting up. I'm getting off my bandwagon.
Somewhere deep. It's got to be, you just got to rise up. You just got to be ready. And then you just got to go. And don't let anything stand in your way. Don't let any excuse stand in your way. And every single day you wake up and you make a choice. You make a choice and you choose it. You choose something better than what you have. And one thing that he didn't mention is the time freedom. I mean, I went to Walmart. Taylor called me today, and she's having LASIK surgery this week. She's got a migraine because she had to go and get her eyes dilated and stuff. And she's like, can you just come and just keep the boys occupied while I grocery shop? And I didn't have to call in to sick. I didn't have to tell my boss I was going to leave for a few hours. I just went, and I've been able to do that. And that kind of stuff, you can't put a price on that, y'all. I mean, that is just the greatest stuff ever. But every single day I make a choice. Some days it's harder than others. Some days I don't want to do it. Some days I'd rather just do something else, especially the days when I have church and, I'm doing all that. I make a choice to work my business every single day. And that's all we're asking you to do. Make that choice. Want something better than what you have now. And don't let fear keep you in the same place. Take that step and make the choice. Does anybody have anything?
Any questions on anything, guys? I probably went a little longer than I planned to. My phone doesn't have a clock on it with Zoom, so I have no idea what time it is. But if you guys have questions, shout them out.
Anybody got anything? All right. We're going
Is there
to
any comments? I want to look to make sure if there's anybody left a comment, a question or anything, Melissa. I can't.
I don't think so.
Okay.
So I am going to declare Ephesians 3:20 over every single one of you. God is going to do exceedingly and abundantly more than we can think or ask. Because him, his blessings are going to chase us down and overtake us. We are in the right place at the right time. I declare boldness to rise up in each one of you. God is going to open up supernatural doors. People are going to seek us out. We are going to rise in the ranks, and we're going to give him the honor and the glory and the praise for it all. I love you guys. Have a great night. Thanks for joining us.
Amen. Love you guys. God bless.